the topic about being lost, I looked at it and I didn't think about my life. I didn't think about it. I thought, no, I always feel lost wherever I am, and even the way I carry my body. Because I'm a dancer, I studied the body language, how the movements work in the space. I know that I always look lost, the way I use my eyes. So I thought, now, this is a good topic. So before we engage in this thing, I would like us to just stand up and have some fun. All right? And maybe put your bag under your chair because we're going to move around a little bit. Can everybody at the back hear me? I like that. Just shake your hands up. Very nice. And shake them to the side. And on your toes, touch the ceiling. Stretch yourself and relax. And on your toes, touch the ceiling again. And stretch, and relax. Okay, let's just take a walk to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. 4 steps to the left. And then 4 steps to the right. 2, 3, 4. And 4 steps to the left. And 4 steps to the right. Okay. Everybody, I would like us to take a step together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? And you start stepping with your right leg going to your right-hand side. Are we ready? 5, 6, 7, go. 1, 2. Other side. Other side. Other side. All right, very nice. And now you're going to turn around yourself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah? Just turning around yourself. Yeah? 5, 6, turn around 4 times. 1 and 2 and other side. Very nice. Stop. Now we're going to combine the whole thing. 4 steps to the right, 4 steps to the left, turn around and turn around. Okay? 5, 6, 7, to your right. Other side. Again. Okay. That was a bad instruction. All right. We're going to do it again. You go to the right, you go to the left, you go to the right again, left, and then turn around. 5, 6, and we go. 1. Other side. Again. Other side. Now, turn around. Da, 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 da. Other side. Very good. And now we're going to do it to the music. I click the magic button. Are we ready? Just clap your hands. Okay, now it's important that you listen to the music and you hear it. Can I have some volume, please? Can we have some volume to that in that music? Get ready? 6, 7 to the right. Let's walk. Other side. Again. Other side. Now turn around. Other side. From the top. Other side. Hit. Other side. Now turn around. Now. Okay, we can all sit down. All right. I have a lot to talk about, and sometimes it gets confusing where to start. Maybe I wanted to talk about my music. Maybe I want to talk about isiqathamia. Let's imagine you are not allowed to say iyelele ma, and you're not allowed to say to sing loudly, and you're not allowed to dance in this building, and you're dying to say iyelele ma and have that fun. And now we're gonna try and say it softly, yeah? 1, 2, 3, let's go. What's? Swagger. Okay, now, those with deep voices, I want them to be deeper. Those who have mid voices like myself, I want it to be there. And those who have sopranos, make it very, yeah? Highlight your voice, yeah? 1, 2, 3. I can't hear it. And dance from your chair. Okay, relax. Thank you. All right. The reason why I love isiqathamia is the music that is lost in itself. Why is it lost in itself? It's because, did I press something without realizing? Can we go back? Thank you. isiqathamia, it started as a colonial response, right? When this beautiful city of Johannesburg that we love so much was being built, men were taken from their homelands to come to the compounds in the hostels. And in those compounds, one of them is the Workers' Museum, one of the first compounds that were built in the city of Johannesburg. One of the rules in the compounds was that you're not allowed to sing and dance because you might be conspiring with your jibba jibba songs, right? So, what they did, because what is the best thing for an African man to express himself, whether it's happiness, is through song, right? But they had to try hard not to be heard, try hard not to be seen. So, it is the music form that started out of trying not to be heard, trying not to be seen. Imagine that you're trying not to be heard, but this beautiful sound called isiqathamia will be born out of trying not to be heard, talking about being lost in the place. So what makes my music, what informs my sound, what inspires me is the displacement. So I'm very, very fascinated by being displaced, being the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm going to tell you 2 stories. The story of Chili and the story of Pap. And they're quite long stories, but I want to try and shorten them. I'll start with the story of Chili. Every time, I love inyama entlogo. When we eat inyama entlogo ekhoneni. When somebody tastes chili in his mouth and he goes, yeah, baba. I hate that. It spoils my day. I want the end to the friendship. You've spoiled my lunch. I don't want to talk to you again. My hate for that thing is so big. And I've never understood why I hate it so much. Why does it make me sad and just like, why? It's just chili. Why are you expressing Babylon chili? That's one thing I hate. And I never understood why I hate it so much. And second thing, my wife, Usonia Khadebe, I like to cook. And the first thing she does to her food, to her plate of pap, she smashes like this. And she spreads it. I'm saying, why are you doing that, Sri Papa? And he says, no, I want it to I want it to cool fast. And then because when you spread it, it'll polar fast. I want a divorce. Immediately, I want a divorce. And I don't want to talk to her, and my supper is spoiled, my day is spoiled. And I've been asking myself, why am I feeling sad? Why is the punishment that I want for you after committing this crime, it's so big that it surpasses the value of the crime? And it's been my long-going question. I didn't understand why I hate that so much. Then I realized that there's a memory that sits in our bodies. Oh, that picture is from a work that all the images that you see is the work that I create. It's either I choreographed, it's in performance. This I was collaborating with Robin Olin. That's Tulani, actually, a friend of mine who hates chili, actually. He spoils my day all the time. The memory in the body. Sometimes it's not in your head, you don't know, but your body remembers. When I was young, my grandmother, she hated umntwana othukanayo. You wouldn't swear. Because my grandmother told me, I'm the firstborn, and then she told me that if you dare swear, I will take red chili pepper and I'll put it in your mouth. It's going to be so hot that you're going to bleed. And you're going to bleed so much. And you might even die. And I was so scared to swear. And when I was a child, when somebody says, "Futsak, Estradin," I was like, no, don't say that, because my grandmother, you don't know what my grandmother is going to do to you. And then my sister was born in 1982, Umusa. She became a child otanda inkamba. And I was like, oh, please don't say that. Because I loved her. I mean, that was the first time there's a baby at my home. So, like, don't be swearing because Gogo is going to do something terrible to you. And one day we're in church. And at that moment where we're doing the Lord's Prayer, and she's standing and then she's sucking her thumb. She's about 3 years or 4, I don't remember. And then Mama Kanya says, sit down, kneel down, we're praying, sit down, phone, sit down. And in the middle of in the middle of the Lord's Prayer in church, and everybody looked at my grandmother, and my grandmother just looked down. She never sang that day. She never preached. She did nothing until we got home. She went straight to the cupboard, went for the red chili pepper, said wazala, and she stuffed it in her mouth. I said it. I knew it. I knew it. She's going to kill my sister. And she cried. She went, and she ran outside. She was wearing a white dress. She went into the mud. She was so dirty, and she bit her tongue. She started bleeding. I said, Nako, she's going to die. Gogo Sheila, she's going to bleed so much. You're going to die. You're going to kill my sister. And I was traumatized. And when we go see Tulani, and she goes, get up. I don't know that my body remembers the trauma of my sister being punished in the Chilies for swearing. When my wife smashes ipapa before she eats it, I don't see ipapa. I see ipapa on the plate. I get sad and angry. But my body remembers our shack being bulldozed every single week in the Polar Park squatter camp. You know how a squatter camp starts? The government builds a township, and then they forget that people are going to grow, and it gets crowded, and there's no other place, and then you find another place. You just build a shack, and then we built, and then they said, no, you can't build here. It belongs to... Then they bulldoze it, you rebuild it. They bulldoze it, you rebuild it, almost every week. And I remember there was a day where I went to school without lunch. I didn't have breakfast, I didn't have lunch, but I knew that there's food from last night's supper that I was going to eat after school. And when I got there, the shack was on the floor, and there was Amataya tracks on the plate of pap. A bulldozer moved on top of it. And when my wife says, policy papa, we'll spread her in her plate, I see that the papa is in the plate, but my body remembers our shack being destroyed, remembers that day. It goes straight to that day. And for me, and you will know why I'm telling you this later. And what am I using it for? What is it for me, that? So the memory sits in the body. And tell me if I'm taking, I'm not looking at time. Lost in Polar Park Squatter Camp. And that's me. I don't know how old I was there. And that's my mother. It was my birthday. And that's me doing some karate moves. And that was next door. And umkuku agiti got the say G70. When my father goes to the place where he was born, I never grew up with him. He takes off his shoes and he sits on the stoop and says, "Mang elumroho," and then they give him the food that he used to eat as a child. There's something beautiful about Gogo, where you go to. But when you grow up in a squatter camp, that place was not supposed to be there. It's now a school. There's no place to go to. So the house that you build for yourself with your own money or whatever, it's in Diepsloot right now. I live in Diepsloot. And that's the only place. Enginayo, engidiksekhaya. All right? Ayikho enye. And for me, there's this thing of being lost, of being displaced. To say, like, you don't know who to connect nani or connect gupi, because we all know that Jobek asili la mutu. It's no one's home. And then there's this guy who gave me the music. I grew up in the 80s. Of course, I go to school in 1985 during the state of emergency. And in the streets, there was lots of music, lots of singing. And we didn't have a radio, we didn't have electricity, so the only music that I had access to was the struggle songs. And most of the songs were about this guy. So I sang about this guy my whole childhood. Oliver Tambo, teta no pota. Hey, Tulan my ponfrit. Oliver Tambo, teta no pota. Oliver Tambo, teta no pota. Umandela zobosa, Umandela zobosa. Come, get it up, man. You must son. Come, get it up, man. You must son. Do it, spark. See it, cord. Do it, spark. See it, cord. So fast, get you, man. AK. So fast, get you, man. Cut it off. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Just like Istratamia. Just like Itoi Itoi, you start a song not out of, I want to make a nice song. You're like, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, what am I going to do? I don't know, what am I going to do? 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 Then it's a song. Enough about this guy. And then we enter the 90s. Mandela is about to be out, Kodesa, and that squatter camp is in Thokoza. Let me tell you a story of Thokoza, what happened. It's not actually the story of Thokoza, it's the story of South Africa. In the 80s, during the struggle, what happened was there were those who were fighting, throwing stones at the Casbahs. And there were those who are born in Johannesburg, those who have nowhere to go, those who have to fight for existing. And there are those who came by Yumatsigela's train, and they live in the hostels. All they want is to work for Bastion, get the money and send it home. That's all I want to do. And don't tell me that we're not supposed to go to work today so that we can cripple the economy, wara wara. I don't care. I don't even know what economy is. I just want to go to the mine. I want to work. I want to give my children money. Then there was a tension between those who wanted to fight and those who wanted to work. And then in the 90s, what happened was the government then armed those who want to work to say, if they tell you not to work, shoot them. So the IFP members had the R5 rifles that are used by the South African Defence Force and the South African Police, and the ones that were used in Marikana. And then you throw a stone and say, hey, let's not work, and then they say, okay, we're going to shoot you. And that was before Mandela was released. And during the time after, and obviously there has to be a negotiation with ANC. The IFP is shooting us. We need guns. Oh, there's lots of guns in the MK. They've been training to shoot everybody who's not supposed to be in South Africa or whatever. They're available. So they were brought. You know, an AK-47 feels very nice in the hand of a 14-year-old. It's the lightest gun in the world. It's easy to use. You can run, and it's the most powerful gun. You can shoot underwater, you can shoot in the mud. And there were AK-47s in Polar Park squatter camps, like handbags. Nobody knows about this. And there were R5 rifles in the IFP members. And we shot each other every day. Sometimes we didn't know why we were shooting each other. At the age of 11 till the age of 14, I knew the sound of the gun. Like you shoot now, I tell you what is that gun. That's the AK-47. It's got a prestige sound. It doesn't make an echo. And then the silence, like nothing happened. And on an automatic mode. And then there's an R5 rifle that the IFP and the police were using. It has a dual sound. It makes a sound when the striking pin hits the bullet, and then it makes another sound as the bullet leaves the barrel. Kaku! Kaku, kaku! Kakakuku! Kakakakuku! Kakakakuku! Now the call and response, the music of the AK and the R5. Kaku, kaku! Kaku, kaku! 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 Boom! Hua! Boom! Hua! Yo, that one is the pump gun, the riot control rifle that the police are supposed to use during strikes. It goes boom, and then the iron pellets go hua, to scatter and hit you on your face at the same time. And when you hear the sound hua, because the houses are corrugated iron, you hear it hitting Amazenke. Boom, hua, boom, hua, kaku, kaku, and that was the music. That was the soundtrack of my teenage years. I want us to have some fun. You guys look depressed. Sorry. Not here to depress you. Take one. Just pass the rest. Pass the rest. If you don't have one, sorry. Take Mbembe. Give someone next to you. Pass. Mbembe? Sorry. Okay, those who have Mbembe like this, how much time? We have 20 minutes. To finish or to finish? 21 minutes. We have this Mbembe that looks like this. Can it go? If you have the one that looks like this, Ega referee, I want that sound. Let's go. What? Okay. Okay, we're gonna change it. Osa? Okay, good. The one that has double pipes? The one that has double pipes? Very good. And the ones that have this? What? All right. It's tiring, Ukasimpembe. All right. You gotta blow. When you're tired of blowing, when you are a gentleman, say kubo, 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 kubo. Can I hear you say that? Kubo. I can't hear you, my daughter. Son. Kubo, 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 kubo. And then if you are a lady, say ingene, ingene. I can't hear you. All right. So, you blow, you blow, you blow, you get tired and say, kubo, 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 and you say, again, and then you blow again, you blow, and say, again. I just want you to just keep that music going. Stand by, and go. And then there's that lady. Yes, please. My grandmother. And that's me. So, I didn't know I was dyslexic. And I went to the government school, just like most of us. Thank you. In a township school, when you're dyslexic, you're stupid. You are told that over and over, and you start believing it. And I did. I believed it. There's something that's happening in township schools that not a lot of people know about, and I'm going to tell you. Can you imagine learning English in Zulu? Sanbonan, bantwana bam. Good morning, class. Good morning, class. Namhlanje ngizonifundisa i-English. Into esizoqala ngayo namhlanje ama-verb. Angithi? Ama-verb, do you hear? Ama-verb, ithini ama-verb? Ama-verb. Ama-verb, ama-doing words. Igama lento ongayenza kufana nokuhamba, to walk. Ukwenzani? To walk. Okay, ubani omunye ongangipha i-example ye-verb? Igama lento ongayenza. Ukudlala. Nge-English ukudlala yini? To play. Give her a big round of applause. And that is the English class in a township school. Whenever we come to your interviews and say, please forgive us. Okay? And that is the English class in the township school. And then you're dyslexic. And then you are traumatized by the AK-47s and the dead bodies and the blood every day. But you don't know you're dyslexic, and you don't know you are traumatized, and you don't know you need counseling. Did you eat? Yes, I did. And then what's this depression of yours? Shut up and finish your food. My grandmother loses her job in 1997. And I fail my matric. same year. And I realized that, okay, I need to find a job and stop this pipe dream of being a composer, a singer, and get a job. And I found a job at a printing company. And I came home very excited. I said to my grandmother, Gogo, all I need from you is 52 rands for a weekly ticket. They pay per week there. That's the only money I'll ever ask from you. And we are sorted. And I'll go to work for this week, and I'll get paid, and then we shall never want. And my grandmother said, tell me, what songs are they singing there? I said, no, what do you mean songs? I said, didn't you say, you've always said, when you learned to speak, it was through a song. You started singing before you could talk, and now you want to go work for whatever it is. I will not give you the 52 rands. She had it. My grandmother believed in my dream more than I did. And I was very angry with my grandmother for not giving me 52 rands that day. And then I went to look for music schools. With the failed matric results, I knew I don't want to do the life cycle of a frog again. I knew that I don't need that. So I said, maybe let me go to a music school and find matric points. And then I can go to Pretoria Tech then and do musical theater or whatever. And I was accepted in 3 schools with flying colors. But I couldn't afford the fees. And also, they needed the matric. I had to go back and study. Then I was depressed, really depressed. Even though I didn't know what it was, but I was walking very slowly. And I saw a dance audition at Moving Into Dance. And I went to this dance school, not to audition to be taken, but to just distress, man. And then go home and cry. And there, as I was moving at the audition at the dance school, they said, there's something about that boy. There's a fire inside him, and we want him. And then I was given a scholarship to study dance. I've never danced at the party. I hate dancing. I just wanted to stress, go home and cry. And there I was being given a scholarship to study dance. And the next week, they're telling me, okay, bring your matric results. I said, I don't have them. I said, okay, go do your matric and come back the following year. Then I put my chair against the door in the office. I said, there's a queue outside for people who want to be interviewed. I've got news for you, it's not happening. Unless you tell me that I'm in class on Monday. I don't know what happened in that room. The next thing I knew, I was in class. I discovered I was dyslexic. End of the year, I had 9 distinctions. I joined the Moving Into Dance performance company, and I started teaching the first years. I started teaching the teachers how to teach. I became the head of department at the school, the vice principal, Ongena Matric. And today, I've just registered at Wits. I took my portfolio of 21 years and said, I want to study. They said, but you don't have matric. I said, don't say that, because last time it didn't go well. And I was accepted to do an MA. Thank you. Literature review, yan tuba. I can't read everything. I need all the help I can get. Okay, enough about that. So, as I was in the dance company, I knew I wanted to sing, not to dance. Then I learned music through dance. So I had to convert every information, everything I'm learning in dance. I had to think, if this was sound, what would it mean? If this was sound, what would it mean? And I still do that today. I'm the composer who uses movement as a stimulus for sound or to make sound. Talk about being lost. And it's a piece called CHANT. It was a tribute to my grandmother. And this is a piece called We Chant, where I use the elements of Isicathamiya, I mix it with hip hop and opera. It opened at the Soweto Theatre. Broken Chant. It's a piece I choreographed for my wife. And it opened at the State Theatre. It's about the broken families. The Workers' Chant. It's a site-specific piece that happened at the Workers' Museum, where I took Isicathamiya. You see those singers, they are lying on the concrete beds that the men used to sleep at during the labor migration. And the children who are left without fathers, and the police who are looking after these men like prisoners in the compounds. Grisha, the chant that calls. I put a microscope inside the squatter camp, and the audience, I take them through what happens every single minute inside a one-room squatter camp. Enyangeni, those who dare to chant. It's a piece that I choreographed and composed. It happens on a scaffolding, but it's about children playing in the streets. The songs that we grew up playing in the streets, there is a deeper meaning when you think about it as an adult. Vuka mfana, hamba uye esikolweni, cha angifuni, ziphi inkomo, zisempumalanga, ubani ozozilanda. It basically says, wake up, go to schools, because the cows are with King George's wife and she's fondling with them. And these are the children. When you see children playing in the streets, start paying attention and listening to the words that they are saying. They are expressing themselves. Domestic violence, drunkenness. And we did it on a scaffold to find the duality between work and play. Waiting for the Sybil is an opera I just did. It's my latest work. Imagine yourself as a typewriter. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're about to give it to Nhlanhla. Stop, and you stop, and then you listen to the first. Demand which war it is. Not one of our dreams ever came true.
And this piece opened at the Rome Opera. And when you walked in the streets and you would see the musicals by Andrew Lloyd Webber and another poster on the side waiting for Sybil, music by Nhlanhla Mahlangu. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Today from Rainbow. I'll be working with Nhlanhla Mahlangu now. And an amazing pilot based in Deep Slow as well. We now call it Deep Leeg or Deep Leegda because Deep Slow means deep ditch. And so we'll now perpetuate that kind of energy. So we're calling it Deep Love. My question to you, especially now that we'll be working together, is how can we use our bodies, use our voices as a way to remind people, especially those living in these transitory places that weren't supposed to actually exist, but actually do. How do we use our voices as a way to remind people of who they actually are, of the kings and queens that they actually are, and have been convinced they are not?
I often make a horrible joke and say, most of us, our parents don't leave us with trust funds, but they leave us with a medical bill and a story. And we are left with a story to sell, and which is what I'm doing now. And I can only respond from a personal level, and it's different from person to person. But those stories are gold for me. They are our anchor, and for us to understand our present, we have to be in touch with our past. And when you are in touch with your past, you'll understand your present, and you are able to shape your future.
So, I was still dealing with So I'd like to know, after all of these years without you needing the validation of an institution like this, why now, after 21 years, did you feel the need to go back to look for that validation, if it is validation?
Thank you for that question. First, it's not validation. I needed to think deeper about my practice. I need also to understand what are other people who have done a similar thing, and in what ways can I effectively use a somatic response or a somatic rhythm or a somatic emotion as a means to create a transformative theater. So the memory that's in the body, how can I continue to use it to excavate the choreographic material that can be used in performance? So that's why I'm doing a master's. I didn't want to do a master's, I just wanted to study something. And then they threw me on that thing, and now it's really stressful.
So there's a story we're telling where you were in the room and you blocked the door and you were like, I'm getting in. Just judging from your background, did you have a hookup? Like, did you threaten them with something? Or did they just say, okay, Monday, it starts? There's a party skip that I'm curious about.
When such things happen, you don't need an hookup, you don't need an AK, you don't need a break. You just need your body there. I only had my body. That's all I had. Thank you.
First of all, back to asking my question, it's based on the experience that you've actually went through. I understand the story of Chile, I understand the story of Pap, and how it actually traumatized you, but it actually built you to stay true to the kind of person that you are and want to explore that. My question is, what besides the story of the Papa, story of the Chile, and the trauma behind it, kept you so long to stay true to the kind of person that you are today?
My grandmother. It is as simple as that. My grandmother kept on reminding me that I know what you told me when you were 4, and that's what you should be doing. When my grandmother refused to give me the 52 rands, when I started studying and moving into dance, she supported me. And most of you who are in the arts will know that is a constant fight with your parents. Why do you want to do this thing? You want to be like Brenda Fassie? And my grandmother supported that. My grandmother was different. Yeah.
I think that's an amazing note. Thank you very much for this.